Almost upon us, virtual blockchain week coming your way. Mr. Travis Wright, you may unmute yourself and show your camera off so we can see your lovely face.
I cannot unmute my video because you stopped it.
Oh, I killed your video. You know what? I'll ask to start it. We miss you already.
You didn't like my dancing, did you?
Your dancing was awesome. Still figuring out.
I was like, hey, I would start dancing, and then Mr. Joe Com took away my video.
I'm figuring out all the production stuff here because this is a massive undertaking. Virtual Blockchain Week starts Sunday night, and we are streaming to so many different locations. You could be watching this on Facebook, on one of the channels there, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Periscope, on DLive, on Theta TV, and now we've got LinkedIn Live as well.
Oh, and HBO Max, ESPN Plus, which right now I'm surprised you're tuning in. If you're watching this video right now, did you know the NFL draft is also going on right now?
So you're telling him to go watch that instead?
So this video right here, we're just doing a test for the big show starting on Sunday, because you got to get the kinks out, right? You got to make sure, and we've walked through this a few times now. We're really excited. You know, Sunday's going to get here before we know it, and we're going to start having some amazing content for you.
And amazing guests, and you never know when they're going to pop in either. I mean, for example, you could be just sitting here and all of a sudden the Hebrew language pops up on the screen and you're like, what is that? What's going on with that?
I don't even know who this is.
Oh, that would be Monty Greenspan.
Look at that. Bonus.
What's up, dudes?
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good. I was computer sharing with my daughter. She's got her school stuff going on. So now she gets the computer in the morning and I get in the afternoon.
Did you kick her out and you're in her room right now?
Actually, it's 4 a.m. I do have my my little helper with me.
Hi. 4 a.m. Nice.
It is, man. Yeah, that's, well, you know, money never sleeps, man.
That's true. Thanks for jumping on.
Money never sleeps, or Mati never sleeps?
Both. To be perfectly honest.
That's true. Money,
Dude,
money, mate.
We're super excited that you're going to be joining us to give a talk at Virtual Blockchain Week. You are one of 30 speakers, and we've got people still coming to us saying, hey, I want to speak, and you're in, buddy.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
So
Looking
maybe give us a
forward to
preview. What are you going to talk about?
You know, economics and stuff. COVID-19 has completely rocked the world. Things are changing at a very rapid pace. It's basically put all long-term bets off the table completely. I mean, as far as investing is concerned, I mean, there was a very simple way to make money until now. And at this point, everything is upside down. Nobody knows what life is going to look like in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years, like really nobody's sure. And we've reverted to short-term trading for now, just on the volatility. I mean, it makes things really good for guys like me who can navigate that type of volatility. But for most people who want to just put their money somewhere and leave it, it's kind of, we're in a waiting place right now. I believe that very soon we'll see some extremely lucrative opportunities arising though.
So I notice here, I'm looking at the schedule, and if you go to virtualblockchainweek.com and then click on agenda, then you can actually see the full agenda there. And we have Mate. He is How to Invest in a Post-Virus World at 8:40 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, the 27th. So what time is that going to be for you? I guess that'll be about 5 a.m. for you, huh?
Yeah, 4:10. Yep.
4:10. That's weird. We got an extra 30 minutes somehow along the way. Like, where's the time zone in the world that's just the 30-minute one that messes people up? What's up with that? Like India has that too.
India, like, I think it's India. They've been messing us up all the time.
What the heck is up with that? Like, oh, it's only half an hour.
Yeah. Oh, is that the actual event, man? This is gonna be dope.
Oh yeah, this is Virtual Blockchain Week is where everybody wants to go and register. It's free. It's free.
I want to know about. Sorry, Joel. I want to know about this networking event that you guys posted about, because, like, when I go to a conference, it's always about meeting people, like, you know, exchanging business cards, adding contacts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
How do you
Travis.
do that in virtual?
You know, that's a good question. Well, one of the things that Zoom allows us to do is have breakout rooms, right? That's one of the things. And there's also if you have the right one, right, it allows you to do the breakout rooms, and you can put X amount of people in each room. But the problem is when you get so many people. So what we've done is with those networking events, those are VIP only, right? So VIPs, speakers, influencers, sponsors, those are the ones that can go in and sort of do the intermingling. And yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing Zoom on Sunday night. And then on Wednesday night, we're having another one of those. And then on Friday night, we're having an after party deal, but we're going to have other people on their Zoom sort of hosting rooms all over. And there's a website called zoomies.video, and you can actually see which room you can go into. You can go jump into any of those rooms hosted by whoever. So that's sort of open for all the folks. But then the VIPs and speakers and what we're having our own after party where like we're going to be doing karaoke and joking and having a good time.
Is it open bar?
Yeah, BYOB.
BYOB. I bet.
It's totally open as long as you've got, booze or whatever else that you imbibe in, whatever your imbibery might be all about.
Imbiber.
Yeah. And we've got, let me pause this. Here we go. We've got some other speakers that are going to be showing up. Let me share this with you guys here really quick. And
so were you up, Matty, already? Were you just happen to be
Beautiful
up?
people.
Like,
My
yeah,
name is Samson Williams.
I saw
bunch of
your
job titles. None of them
3
matter
a.m.
because, like everyone else here in America, I'm just trying to figure out what does this new digital ecosystem economy look like post-coronavirus. And so join us for the Bad Crypto Summit. We're going to be tackling blockchain. We're going to be tackling digital currencies. We're going to be tackling cryptocurrencies. But more importantly, I'm super excited to lead that conversation about equity, access, equality, justice, and more importantly, race, prejudice, and unconscious bias in a digital ecosystem dealing with digital currencies. Why? Because this current crisis is going to test the very fabric of what it means to be American and the American way of life. We're going to have a lot of great technical conversations, and then some of those tougher, harder social conversations about what do we do with America as we know and love it. So join us for the Bad Cryptocurrency Conference online. It's free. Looking forward to seeing you there. My name is Samson Williams. Stay safe, cover your cough, wash your hands. Peace.
Hey, he forgot stay bad.
No, that was funny. Yeah, the Bad
Nice.
Crypto Conference, crypto summit, week, blockchain.
Yeah, he gave it a new
He
name.
had the bumper sticker on his computer, man. I noticed that.
I did. Yeah, that's good. I saw
He
that.
had that bad crypto sticker. Yeah.
Send me one of those too, man. I'll put it up right over here. My wife is going to love it.
Actually, I'm going to show you something if I could find one.
But there he
Honey,
goes
we
right into the
decided to-
background.
Honey, I decided to take a picture of our family off and place it with a Bad Crypto sticker.
So we actually have
There you go.
that's a small
Joel and
sticker.
Travis. That spot is reserved for you
Hey,
guys.
we have a picture, I think, where we met you in Vegas.
Yeah.
There. That's somebody
there
made
you
these
go.
bumper stickers, the real bumper stickers for
That's
us with the
true.
bad coin.
Coin maximalist.
So there's a limited supply of these. These are all the ones that are left in the world because we've given away the
I
other
reserve
ones.
one.
That's
funny.
awesome. You never know who else might pop in also because speakers just tend to drop by, and they're going to be doing this during the VIP parties as well. Mr. Chris Snook, welcome to the party.
Ah, nice. Bad Crypto podcast shirt. Very sweet.
He's representing. Good to see you, bud.
I changed just for you two.
That's
I tell
great.
you what, that picture behind you, what is that, Cell Block 9?
No, dude, this is my server room. That's why I got this green hue around my head, dude. I'm like, my brains are getting fried in this mother.
Oh,
It looks
nice,
like
yeah.
you've got like an exclamation point coming out of the top of your head.
Yeah, that's true. That's
He's
my
got
little-
an idea. He's got a whole
This guy is
fluorescent light
intense.
Yeah,
So you, Chris and Monty, do you guys know each other?
No, man. Nice to meet you.
I don't think so. He's got a familiar face, but that's probably just from the Twitters or something.
Yeah, you'll love him, Chris. He's got a website. Was it Quantum Economics?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a newsletter. Very smart with the economy and all the crazy things that's going on in the world. Mate's up on that. He was the lead analyst over at eToro. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. Fun times.
Sweet.
Now he's the lead analyst at taking care of his kids.
It's
Yeah,
4
taking
a.m.
care
there.
of it.
Now
Yes,
he's the lead analyst of homeschool.
Right.
exactly. Well, no, that's my wife. She does the homeschool. I just have to share the computer with my daughter until we get a new one.
Yeah, that's right.
For those who don't know, Chris Snook is the co-author of the book that with Travis, Digital Sense. He talks about the book that he wrote about the future of digital. He and Chris did this book together.
And I had hair back then, which is amazing.
Chris Snook wrote a book.
Yeah.
You should
Travis
take a
Wright wrote
look.
book with Chris Snook.
Don't be a schnook.
You might see it right there.
When we started that
Oh.
project, Joel,
Well, that was cool how I got lighter. I was like, look at this.
You get your shadow. You got a flashlight on you.
True.
So Chris, talk a little bit about what you're going to be sharing at Virtual Blockchain Week.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going to talk about what I think are some interesting macro trends, micro trends that were happening before our friend Corona, and certainly how they might indicate winners and losers post pandemic. So we'll look at the data. We'll look at some context, and I'm going to barf as many good things to think about in 20 minutes as I can after Shrem pipes down and before Pomps pipes up. So
You're going to be barfing.
well,
Oh, man, you got
that's what it looks
sandwiched?
like when I talk fast, it kind of looks like verbal vomit. So that's but usually that vomit is nourishing.
I think he said he's going to cram like 90 minutes worth of stuff into 20 minutes.
Yeah, or I think what I used was a 10-pound sausage.
Nourishing verbal vomit sandwiched between Shrem and Pomp.
Yeah, 10 pounds of sausage.
There's your
2-pound bag.
wow.
In a 2-pound bag. Nice. Okay. That's a lot
Or,
of sausage to squeeze into that.
Yeah, or an 8 megabyte block inside of a
Whoa. You might
Yeah,
have
that's
to
not a
hard fork
reason
that
to get
shit.
signed up. I don't know what is. I mean, who doesn't want,
Yeah, who doesn't want a bunch of data?
Verbal
that's gonna
vomit.
Scare the hell out of you. But like
Condensed.
seriously, no. All seriousness
Yeah.
aside, I think I think it's actually pretty clear that just in this last week, I mean, you had to pay somebody $38 to take your oil, right? So we'll talk about. I know other people are talking about tipping points and what that might mean, but I'm going to try and get as granular as I can across certain sectors and where I think, some of this stuff might feel obvious, but I think a lot of it won't. I think some of the things that are predictably going to win will shock people. And then the ones that they expect to hear, I think they'll look at differently, specifically around EV type industries, things like that, because it'll be less about the energy source and more about the business model and the demand shifts that I think are going to happen at consumer level.
What's the next black swan gonna be?
I think they've already predicted, I think the next black swan will be not the black swan that people think. I think
Right.
there's going to be a good debate around hyperinflation. I am in the camp that says that is the least of our problems in the short run with the U.S. dollar. I see, I'm in the camp that the dollar will become so strong that that'll be the demise. It'll end up eating itself after it eats up every other currency, and we could print $40 trillion more and it won't make a difference.
How does that work?
We'll talk about it after you sign up. RSVP
I have to.
now.
Can I be after this guy?
Yeah, nice. Now
Wait,
Chris,
I want to see his presentation before I do mine.
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations. Chris has nailed so many different things. You talked about the book, The Watchman Rattles, and the Fourth Turning, and just the way the times are. And Chris has always been like, dude, shit's about to go down in a big way. And he's just called it like, oh wow, who would have thought it was going to go down as quickly as it has? Because everything seemed pretty stable, but it's like based on history and based on stuff. You want to talk about some of that, Chris? Because that is some interesting stuff. Right there.
If I wasn't so, and I hate to say it, I'm not going to use the word lazy because I'm certainly not lazy, but I honestly, I have nothing to hide. I honestly have been too procrastinating about updating this post, but over 18 months ago, I think I wrote a post on Medium that literally got like 1 or 2 people that read it. I republished it in, I think, August. I'm looking at it on my LinkedIn right now because I want to actually timestamp it. and it was called Rebooting Retail, and it's basically talking a macro analysis of how consumerism died 1919 to 2019. And I put that post on LinkedIn after originally it had been publishing, got no readership. I think it was August or March of June 14th, 2019. Rebooting Retail Macro Analysis 1919 to 2019, RIP Consumerism. And it's about a 10 or 12,000 word post, so it's not short. And I'm dying to like update it now because I want to be like, I called it, but literally like probably 79 people read it. And it's not like one of those things that's fun to read. Like it was something that if you read it back then, you're like, God.
Well, I mean, 79 people read it, so that tells you how viral it was.
Well, yeah, because it's not happy, right?
But you were
Can
so
I get
you were
a,
spot
can I get a
on, though.
short,
That's the thing.
like a condensed version? I mean, like,
Yeah,
can you just
TLDR?
Yeah,
break
sure.
it down to like
TLDR,
1,000 words?
The TLDR of it, and I'm not that, I'm a good dot connector of other people's ideas. So, the TLDR of it is that you've got 80 million baby boomers, right? And for the last 40 years, bonds you couldn't lose. For the last 40 years, when they started buying into the market in their 20s, Dow was at 972. Interest rates were in the teens, which meant you could save and earn 12, 13, 14% in your savings account when you were in your early 20s as a boomer. And you could buy into the stock market when Dow was 972. And so boom, the yield curve was like up and to the right. And so everything that we've known for the last 40 years of markets, which was, 100 years earlier, or like 60 years earlier, kind of got created in 1945, really got amplified with Bretton Woods when we made the US dollar the king dollar, right? So all these things were cool and new 60 years ago. And so that became kind of the norm. And so you have 80 million people who, in all the other prior recessions, bought the dip, right? Because it didn't really matter in 2001 when we lost the NASDAQ down 60%, because boomers were only 20 years ago, right? They were 40 something. They were my age, Travis's age, right? They were in that age bracket. So like, well, shit, that sucks, but let's buy the dip. Or the brokers were like, let's buy the dip because 20 years from now, when we're retired, it'll be a good purchase and it'll dollar cost out. There's nobody going to buy this dip, right? There's 80 million boomers that now, through a RISA Act, have been forced to pull out as of last year.
Fed is buying the dip.
Huh?
The Fed is buying the dip.
Okay, yeah, that's great, right? So the guy making the money is basically buying all the equities, right? So here's mind blown. So not to give away what's going to happen on the 20 minutes, but we won't go this deep on the 20 minutes. Japan did this years ago, right? So what's likely to happen if you watch Raw Paul or any of these smart macro guys out there, Real Vision, Dan Tapiero, these guys that are brilliant, like they're talking about Japan is likely going to have to nationalize all their debt first. They've already gotten to the point where they own like 90% of their bonds. And the yen is one of the most stable currencies. Literally, the yen, the euro, and the US dollar are the most, are the trifecta of currencies that basically stabilize the entire global economy in one way, shape, or form. Well, when Japan nationalizes all their debt, which means they own all the bonds because there's no one else to buy them, that'll send a domino effect. Now, if they do what's called a jubilee, which they are predicted they likely will do, if they do a jubilee and they forgive it all, then they're going to force every other nation and then eventually us to do the same thing because it'll just send this domino effect of debt forgiveness. Well, if that happens,
It's a reset, right? It's a reset.
That's right. It's
And
the
so-
Jubilee is a
so-
debt reset.
Yeah. So what happens then is every pension fund, every insurance company, everything that was based on these things that were risk-free that will never go away also gets reset, which means everybody over the age of 60's pension goes to zero. So yeah, you're not in consumer debt anymore, but you also have no fixed income anymore and you're too old. So that's some of the stuff. The other TLDR stuff was like 70% of the GDP in 2018 or whatever, 19 when I wrote this.
But
was
don't you
from
think that
consumption.
at that point they would include something for the pensioners? I mean, they couldn't
Who
just
knows? But the bottom line is
send them to the wolves.
bottom line is
talking about
bottom line
hundreds
is
of
it's a
millions of
complete
people.
reset. Yeah, bottom line is it's a complete reset. And so whatever the outcome of that isn't. I can't predict that yet. I mean, we could talk about that. It's a longer conversation. The TLDR version of RIP consumerism is that there was no way years ago. I said 2019 for other reasons, which I won't, bother now because COVID kind of became the reason, right? Who predicted this global economic shutdown?
What a fucking catalyst, man.
But the bottom line is that even whether this was going to be the catalyst or not, it was eventually going to happen because you can't have 70% of GDP from a country which is only 14% of the global economy. Like 70% of our world's largest economy, $20 trillion economy, is from consumerism, and our consumers haven't had a pay raise since 1971 because of inflation. So you can't have 70% of your whole entire global GDP for a US, right, which is the largest economy in the world, come from consumption, and you're making stuff cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, but the value of the dollar is eroding faster. And so coffee is $5. It's not coffee didn't get more expensive. Our dollar got 5 times less expensive over the same time. And we're working harder. We're already putting kids in daycare at $800 a month or whatever. Like, we're basically breaking even on the second spouse working for most families. And this was all before that. We're levered up in credit card debt, student debt's through the roof, college tuition's through the roof. So everything's gone like this that supposedly gets you there. And then you come out and you're making enough money to basically rack up 20 grand a year worth of credit card debt to go to IKEA. That was never sustainable. And now you shut everything
It's sort
down.
of set up to fail eventually on purpose. That's how fiat currencies are, right?
They're-
Eventually they fall off, they go bop, 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 and then fall off the cliff. Well, now you just posed something really interesting when you were talking about this, of how, oh, look what happens. They're going to get all this forgiveness. Now, traditionally, I read this book called Currency Wars, and it talks about
Wonderful
how
book.
whenever, great book, whenever currencies, we've had these problems in the past, the states or the countries that have the most gold are the ones that are able to normalize quicker, because then the debt forgiveness and all this other stuff. But you just posed something really interesting when you said even the pensions are going to be reset and the folks are going to be really old. Now, if you throw a tinfoil hat on and you see that this coronavirus only really affects seriously people over the age of 60, it makes you wonder, if you say, wow, economists have sort of put these 2 and 2 dots together and say this collapse is going to happen. Because there's been so many scientists who have come out and said, never before have we ever seen a coronavirus like that doesn't impact the young kids. Like, not at all. It's like, doesn't.
Well, I
hardly
mean, in Arizona, I think the tinfoil hat thing is a little bit risky, but I understand what you're going at. I mean, if you're gonna have a tinfoil hat on, and I don't think this is tinfoil, I think this is just real, and it may seem that way to some. CCP is not playing fair. Never has, never will. There's no secret to that, right? For 30 years, the CCP. So this isn't a knock against Chinese people. Chinese people are wonderful. But the CCP is the mafia. And I mean, I look today, there's 83,000.
And the American government is A-okay, right?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, we'll get to that in a second. But just like, if you're going to put a hat on about anything, you go, okay, one of 2 things is possible. Either China and the CCP are rapidly underreporting, because they've been at 83,000 total cases, and as of today, only 1,035, I think, active cases for the last several months. And they were there supposedly within the first month. So either they're lying.
Yeah, they are lying. I think that's a given at this point. Yeah.
Or, right, they're
They're false reporting.
Yeah, they're either lying and underreporting because they can, or tinfoil hat, they got an antidote and they're lying about that. Either way.
If they do have an antidote, they definitely shared it with Russia.
Yeah, well, but either way, and I'm not saying they have one or the other. Either way, the data is pointless, right? Because their data isn't real. Whatever, either way, it's not real.
Well, you say they are a mafia. I mean, the amount of fentanyl that's been released into America that over the last 5 years has killed 40 to 60,000 people every year. And you have some of their generals in their military talking about asymmetrical warfare. And that's the way you do it. It's sort of subversive. And you can go, what? It wasn't us. It wasn't intentional. Like, I mean, so that's some of those scary walls.
I mean, regardless of how you look at it, and I don't know anybody at the CCP, don't really want to. But one thing I do know is they can kind of do things differently than here. I fundamentally believe, and not in the Cold War the way that we are. We're going to talk about this a little bit during my 20 minutes, but I'll do it with some data stuff. I believe that we are repeating the early, the late 40s, early 50s, the beginning of the Cold War. I believe we're repeating it. And the classic battle between communism and capitalism is going to be rehashed, except for this time, because over here, to your point, we have become the most disgustingly cronyistic, like non-capitalistic, unfree markety world.
Yeah, we got a big preview with that with Bernie Sanders in the primaries, right?
Our system's completely broken, and
beyond repair.
But the one thing that I believe might happen, and I think will happen, is this new Cold War will be some kind of, and it's not a race just for blockchain. Blockchain will be at the center point of it, but it'll be a race for centralized versions of blockchain versus decentralized market economies. And the Chinese are going to announce, today or tomorrow, I think they launch their blockchain initiative. Right?
Just read that. Yeah.
And Tencent and Baidu and Ant Financial and all these major companies, which are also state-owned, Huawei, they're all involved. Now, let's not make a judgment against it. Let's just think about, well, if you're state-owned and you're a supposed private enterprise, it's a consortium of decentralized nodes, but you kind of have a common father, and that father is pretty brutal when it comes to getting what he wants. So there'll be a world that literally exists where if you want to do business anywhere inside of that geo or anywhere that they touch or control with their army, you're going to be on their rails. You're going to be riding on Huawei infrastructure with Ant Financial and Alibaba stuff through a smartphone that is, digital RMB and running on whatever blockchain network all those apps are built on. And that's your choice, or you cannot participate. The Sputnik moment, I don't want to give it.
Isn't it already? It's already like that, though, isn't it?
I'll tell you what I think the Sputnik moment's going to be on the big show, not here, because I don't want to waste it. So you have to wait for that one and register. But there'll be a Sputnik moment, I believe, within the next 6 months that'll happen. And if you know what Sputnik moment did, it became that race to the moon, right? And so we're way behind in the sense of how we're thinking about it the same way, because we have chosen to be and we can be. But ultimately, there will be this race. And I think ultimately, whoever wins it is going to be on the free market side of a decentralized economy that plays within the sovereign centralized needs of certain things, but that essentially builds a market economy that is more decentralized with consortiums that are more auditable. And, we'll see who participates in that. I think you'll have Taiwan. I think you'll have some of these, Southeast Asian states that side with us that are allies go that way. I think you'll have some go to China, and we'll have another Cold War for 10 years. And it'll be the internet, not the Berlin Wall.
So that's going to be interesting to be in a Cold War and a massive recession, right? Like it's almost like communism and capitalism are going to go head to head during the worst economies ever, because the bottom's going to fall out. And so that's going to be, and it's
but there'll be jobs.
Like China has an upper hand, because we've talked about this. China has a 500-year plan. Americans maybe have a 4-year plan or a quarterly plan. Huawei has a 25-year plan. China has a 500-year plan. They're going to win.
I don't know that they're going to win, Travis, but I do think that's an important point. And I don't know that they're going to win because, communism doesn't work, right?
Well, it might not be the version of that, but it's like China will still be around 500 years.
They are going to win a lot of battles. I agree with you that they're going to win a lot of battles, and the main reason is because they play by a different set of rules and they play by a different ethos. The CCP, in my opinion, would happily sacrifice 3, 10, 15, 20 million lives. The CCP would happily have their economy in the tank for 4 quarters because no one's going to kick him out.
Here's my plan to tell everybody that there's going to be this and more at Virtual Blockchain Week. I planned a whole 60 seconds ahead. Virtual
That's
Blockchain
not a 500-year plan, though. That's a 60-second.
Yeah, it's a 60-second plan. That's all I can do.
You lose.
I don't know what what am I going to have for breakfast? I don't even know. This is the plan. You guys,
so if you were Chinese, you might know.
Yeah, get registered here, because not only are these guys going to be speaking, but take a look at this illustrious list of luminaries. John McAfee, Caitlin Long, Don Tapscott, Tim Draper, Roger Ver, Justin Sun, Charlie Shrem, CZ, Pomp, Maureen Murrett, Akon, Veza, Peter McCormick, G. Edward Griffin, John Hargrave, Brittany Kaiser, there's Mahdi, Oz Sultan, Miko Matsumura, there's Chris, Cherie, Mabad, Elise, Sampson, and there's more. There's more. It's a full week of events. It begins Sunday night, and here's the best part. You can register for free, right? Just by click right there, you scroll down, register, and you'll notice there is a VIP experience. Travis, what happens if they register for the VIP experience?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've done, and we chatted about this a little bit earlier on in the session here with Mate, when you go to a conference, that networking and connecting with people, that's the whole best part of it. So what we're doing is on Sunday night, we're having a VIP party along with the speakers and the sponsors and influencers, so we can sort of meet and greet and connect with one another. And what's cool, one of the things that we're going to do is, in the spirit of having a conference, is you're going to, be encouraged to have your LinkedIn and then click your little QR code, and then everybody can show their QR code to the screen and scan each other and connect on social media, right? And you can start making these connections in this virtual world, take them into the real world. And we're going to have an after party on Friday night with like karaoke, and there's going to be some rappers from the 80s coming there. We got a dude from Bone Thugs and Harmony, and we got Snap. I got the Power guy. Yeah, there's some other people that are in the works as well. There'll be probably some guitar and lots of drinking games. Probably anytime somebody says blockchain, you have to take a drink.
So
And
I gotta put on my Timberlands is what you're telling me.
yeah, there'll be a Wednesday influencer happy hour, and those VIP events will take place in our Zoom rooms. Also, we're grateful to our sponsor, Cryptomatic ATM, cryptomaticatm.com. They're going to be giving away 2 of these Cobra Eco cash in crypto ATMs over the period of the week. If you sign up for the free ticket, you'll get an entry. If you sign up for the VIP, you get 5 entries to win one of these ATMs. I think they
that would
retail
look really good, Joel. Like right
there.
right there. If I had that at the end of my server room, man.
Yeah. So, but you got to register to enter, even if you're registering for free. And if you get the VIP, you get 5 entries. That's 500% times the number of entries that you get a chance to win.
Is that like a water machine?
It's an ATM.
Yeah.
An ATM for your living room?
It's amazing.
Well, no, it's so the idea is, you get it placed somewhere, grocery store, dispensary, somewhere, and wherever you get it placed, they earn, you earn, people get Bitcoin, everybody earns. It's a beautiful.
You can put it in your living room if you want and just like buzz people up.
Yeah, come on over my place and use my ATM.
You ain't got the Rona, do you? Okay, come on up.
We got some unique NFTs as well that are going to be dropped to people. So when you register, there'll be a place to drop your ERC20 address, and that'll be great fun as well. The website right here, virtualblockchainweek.com is the place to go. And I want to show you a really short video from another one of, he's talking before I'm ready. Don't talk yet. Hold up there, buddy. Another one of our speakers that's going to be there. Here we go. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Hang on. I'm still learning to get the hang of this. You have to click share computer sound on Zoom.
Hello, I'm Roger Ver, founder of Bitcoin.com. I'm looking forward to joining all of you for Virtual Blockchain Week and talking about all the wonderful ways cryptocurrencies can bring more economic freedom to the entire world and make the world a better place for everyone. So see you there at virtualblockchainweek.com. Thank you.
Well, he's toughing it up there, out there. I think he's hanging out.
He's quarantined in St. Kitts and Nevis. He's out of Tokyo right now.
It's just a green screen, guys. He's got a virtual background.
Oh, it did. He had a virtual.
No. You heard
Who would do that? Who would put themselves, on the beach like that in a green screen format? That's so weird.
It's just only losers, man.
Dude, guys with beach backgrounds are so lame. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, this is getting ridiculous.
I mean, it's kind of like putting Bitcoin behind your head. Like, it's really,
There you go.
I don't know, you guys. You got to stop messing around. It's really frustrating me up here. I was trying to enjoy your live stream video, and then you guys are talking crazy shit. You got to stop this. I want to punch you all in the mouth.
Dude, that's awesome, Mike Tyson. It's so nice to see you. Hey, Mike, you should read a book. Look at my library.
Hey, I did read a book one time. It was it had lots of pictures in it.
Yeah, that's a good book. I like those kind of books.
Well, it's going to be great, guys. We appreciate you both stopping by, Mati Greenspan and Christopher J. Snook, both speaking at Virtual Blockchain Week.
I'm gonna go. Thanks a lot for having me, guys.
Thanks, Mati. Good to see you. Looking forward to having you this week.
See you in a week.
Bye.
Chris, thanks for dropping by, buddy. We're looking forward to hearing your talk and seeing you blow people's minds.
Oh, love it, man.
I'm gonna go see if I can turn this schmedium
Mike,
into
quit poking your nipples. It's weird. This is a family show.
I'm gonna go pump this up.
Go pump it up. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Good times, Mr. Travis Wright. This is going to be one heck of a fun week and packed with information. I mean, just listening to those two guys go at it, knowing what they're going to bring to the conference.
Dude, wasn't that kind of like Blab right there?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Zoom.
That was very blabby. No, it's like, you know, a lot of times you have a meeting when you're using Zoom for the most part, but that was just like a sort of a meeting of the minds, and you're going to get more of that this week, which is so exciting. And we're going to have some great times and have a lot of great laughs and have a lot of great knowledge bombs. I mean, we got really, really smart people coming at you, bringing their A game, right? Because you think, look at all these conferences that these great speakers were going to go to that got canceled. And they're like, oh, and now they've had time to think about, where's the world going to go now? Because here we are in the strangest time ever. So here we have some Sherpas to help guide us into this new crazy world that we're going to be living in and helping us sort of navigate some of these spaces. And that's really what that's why we thought this is gonna be the best time to do this, because so many amazing speakers have such great content. This is such a tumultuous time in the world and people need answers. You know, you're not going to want to sit next week. You're not going to want to sit and be wasting time on Netflix in the evening. You're going to want to be tuning in to virtualblockchainweek.com. And we hope to see you there.
Yeah, look who else we got that's going to be showing up, Travis. Oh, she's not talking because I have to actually, we're going to start her over again. Go back here, Rachel. Rachel, say something. I can't hear you.
Virtual Blockchain Week.
Wait, she's going to say.
Hi, it's Rachel Wolfson, and I'm a reporter with Cointelegraph. I'll be keynoting at Virtual Blockchain Week, so be sure to register and check it out.
Well, this is why we're doing these, not only to tell people, but so I can get my feet wet here on the production of this, because there's a lot of moving parts. We're going to have a lot of people coming in, and there's going to be some videos. We got
sponsors. Does seem like this when the video comes in, there's like a little bit of a little something reminder. It's right. There's like a little, it's like a do this, then that almost, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll probably make it like a little sticky note, put up here, do this, then
that'd
this.
Be great. Are you using, so you're using Minicam for this? So the thing that's
No.
cool about this, no, you're not. You're
Nope, that's straight through Zoom. Yeah, there was no way to do it with Minicam and play the audio, but when you do a share screen on Zoom, there's a little checkbox down there at the bottom, and it says specifically share computer sound. And that's
how we're gonna be able to do karaoke.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Exactly. That's gonna be great. So there you go. If you haven't registered yet, what are you waiting for? Well over 1,500 people registered, and the reach for where the video is going to be broadcast is, well over 2.5 million or so now. Could be over 3 million. And the hashtag for the event is VBW2020. So if you're going to go ahead and send out a tweet, let people know that you're coming, send them to virtualblockchainweek.com so they can get registered.
Yeah, it might be cool to, maybe even connect your laptop to your television and have your pop up there and just sit in your comfy chair like you would normally do. And here's the thing. If you have one of those smart TVs, we're going to be streaming on YouTube. We're going to be on Facebook, and we're going to be on Twitch. And so if you have one of those smart TVs, or if you have an Apple TV, or if you have a Roku or the Amazon Fire thing or the Google Chrome stick or any of those, if you can get on YouTube from your TV, you can watch us on YouTube.
Keep talking. I'm going to go check my TV right now and pull up the Bad Crypto channel. So tell people about more things.
Okay. You could probably do that later after the video stream is complete. After I said all my good words, now my good words are all finished. But yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, as we've walked through, and you just saw a glimpse of it tonight. If you're still watching us right now, we had a couple of awesome speakers. That's just 2 of like 30 some odd speakers that we have coming on here. And so that's really awesome. And a lot of great stuff going to be going on. And we really look forward. I thought we were wrapping it up here. So we're going to be wrapping it up here now. He wants to go run and check and see if he can find that real quick. But I think we'll probably be here tomorrow night, probably be here again on Saturday night, just to sort of warm up and to walk through and to get the flow of it down. But we're trying to make this as much of a conference as possible, make it feel like a conference. That's why we're having the Sunday night networking deal. And that's why we're having the Wednesday night networking deal and the Friday night, get together and party. And it's going to be entertaining. And actually what I think what end up happening after that, it worked.
We're on TV.
We're on TV. So you're going to be able to watch.
So cool. So you'll be able to go to YouTube and go to the Bad Crypto Podcast channel, and you could sit in front of your TV the whole time and blockchain and chill.
Yeah, you don't got to sit in your computer desk. I mean, you're sitting at your computer desk all the time. I know my ass feels like it's glued to this chair sometimes. We're working so much trying to get the stuff all squared away. But we're excited, and the content that we're bringing is going to be amazing. And I actually think as a result of this, Mr. Joe Com, we'll probably end up having more just like happy hour thing, like Bad Crypto Happy Hour, where we bring interesting people on and drink and laugh, and I think it'll be fun. Well, so there'll be some things that pop up as a result of this that we don't even know yet.
Do I have to drink?
You don't have to do anything, Mr. Joe.
Do I have to laugh?
You're Mr. Joe Com.
I'm going to drink and I'm going to laugh and I'm going to listen to my neighbor's dog barking. They got this little tiny yap like Chihuahua, and it hears me over here, and it's like,
Nice. There you go.
there might also be some silliness, right, Travis? I mean,
I doubt that. I doubt it.
Mike Tyson might show up.
He might. We're 45 minutes into this. I kind of want to go watch the NFL draft, Mr. Joe Com.
All right. Hey, everybody, please get registered. Get your VIP ticket. Prices are getting ready to go up. Right now, it's $97, and 50% of the price for the VIP ticket is going to go to charity. We're working with Binance Charity, and half of the proceeds from the VIP tickets are going to the Crypto Against COVID Relief Fund, and that goes directly to help people, hospitals, regions that are affected by COVID-19. So another great reason to sign up for the VIP Virtual Blockchain Week. We'll catch you guys there soonly.
Appreciate you.